Keeping venomous reptiles is an unforgiving hobby, requiring proper training and lots of experience. One simple mistake can be the difference between life and death. Remember, the most venomous snake in the world is the one that just bit you. There are no venomous snakes with training wheels. Just because you see Viperkeeper handle snakes a certain way does not mean you should try it too.
Hi there, sweetie. Although you would bite me if I gave you the opportunity. Yeah, these guys, you know, because of the turmoil in our lives here, and that's why you really haven't seen a whole lot of videos recently. You know, not only had Lori sort of regressed and was having some issues, but I was having all sorts of issues at work, a place where I've been for 23 years that's now under new ownership, and I was going to give notice on the 1st, but the board of directors of the investment company that is now the parent company got wind that I was unhappy, and things have changed. The landscape has changed at work, so that's taken a lot of stress off of me, and of course that's stressed Lori. So hopefully, you know, we'll be able to get back to some semblance of normal. But keep in mind, folks, that I am working towards retirement and getting out of the snake business. However, for now, I still have a number of animals. I want to get down to really one room of animals that I keep. You know, some fan favorites, for instance, and such. You know, like these Deathies and stuff. Yeah, that's what's... There's just been a whole lot on our plate here that's just been not conducive to making videos. If this particular job doesn't work out, I was able to work with one of the companies that we've been representing for quite some time. I've worked with these people for 23 years, and they basically were going to pull their product line from where I was working and set up a U.S. operation with me in charge. So I think that's all I should really say about work and stuff. But as you can see, she's somewhat interested in a morsel. She hasn't been fed in 2 weeks. Lori said she's looking really thin, but she doesn't really look really thin to me. Would you like that? Huh? You would? I sort of knew you would.
Yes, they've all been pacing their cages, looking hopeful every time I come into the room.
Yep, and there we have a happy death adder. So we will carefully close the door and move on to the others. By the way, I was absolutely appalled that New York State Department of Environmental Conservation and their euthanizing and confiscating, you know, a pet squirrel and a pet raccoon, and then just summarily executing them. And I put to you, it's gotten a lot of airplay and is viral on various social media. However, let's also consider that these ruthless individuals, and heartless I will say, do this to, you know, these cute little furry animals, but you can imagine nobody advocates for your targeting system is way off, but I bet if that was my finger, you'd be on it.
Of course.
There you go. Just imagine, you know, they would confiscate anybody's reptiles and without due process or without any sort of hearing, just kill the animals for just because they can. This is not America. It's not an American way. You're allowed due process. This is why I don't keep native snakes in this state, simply because that gives the Department of Environmental Protection the ability to come to my place 24/7 at any hour, knock on the door and demand to see what animals I'm keeping. And it's this way in many states. Somehow these agencies have slipped past the constitutional amendment, and they don't need a warrant to come in and do what they need to do. Not what they need to do, whatever they want to do is a better way of putting it. So, you know, I'm just appalled. The people at the top on down in New York DEC need to be fired. I would actually think I have some other things that I think about I would rather do to them, but you know, I'll not say it so I don't get demonetized. Yeah, I mean, it's just cruel and heartless, and you know, these are people that are entrusted to protect our native wildlife and wildlife. And you know, here they go, two perfectly healthy, you know, okay, I will never say tame, but domesticated wild animals, and the snake is going to get tired of me babbling and launch itself forward. And here they did, without any due process, without any second thought, you know, euthanize two perfectly good animals that could have been used for outreach and for, you know, a number of things, or even gone to a licensed rescue place. They didn't have to kill the animal. There were other options, but what they did was criminal, and they need to be held accountable. Oh, you're surprising me, huh? You're not moving. I bet if I move to the side... Oh, yes, okay. And you're pissed because I made you wait for that, huh? No happy death adder? Yeah, because I made you wait. All right, so let's move on here. I'll try to get some videos to you, but one thing I want to remind you of is I am on what is now known as X, also known as Twitter, and I post short videos of animals there. I just shoot them with my cell phone, and they're high quality, except they're just a couple minutes long, with, you know, various check-ins, because sometimes, you know, Lori's not available to hold the camera, and, you know, sometimes she's available to hold the phone, but not all the time. So it's at Real Viperkeeper. And I will just warn you that I post some other things on that channel, which you may or may not agree with me, but you know, I like to speak up when I see things that I don't agree with. After all, the discourse should be, even if you disagree with somebody, you should end up agreeing to disagree and walking away. There's no reason to get hostile or nasty or anything like that. So if you see something that annoys you, I'm sorry. This is my opinion, and I own it. But otherwise, you know, you'll get to see some nice videos of snakes. There's several of them up there if you roam through the feed. Again, it's at Real Viperkeeper on X or Twitter or whatever you want. So you can just set up a free account and look me up. Well, here's a rare visit with Thumper. Thumper is usually in his hut, and actually I wonder how in the hell he fits in there, but he's perfectly happy as a, you know, fleas on a dog in that little hut. Let's see if this is warm enough, and I can, get his attention. Oh, good job. There's Thumper. He's a cool snake. He's a Trimessurus panaceus, hunt-nosed pit viper, one of the many trimesurrids that are out there in the venomous snake world, and he's a pretty chill individual, as you see. He's not like the Trimessurus insularis in this cage, which just struck at me because it wants something to eat, but she ate a full-grown mouse yesterday, so she should be, you know, like, okay, he's here, but I don't need to strike at him because he already gave me something to eat. But we have gluttonous snakes that will eat themselves to death, so we control their portions, and Mr. Thumper here doesn't always eat. Sometimes I'll present something at his hut door, and when he's hungry he'll eat, and when he's not he won't. It's very rare to catch him outside of his enclosure, and it's even rarer for him to feed outside of his enclosure, but we happen to catch it just right. Therefore everybody gets to share a visit with Thumper.